News 46 is brought to you by Bees Embroidery and Garment Printing, specializing in custom and personalized decoration of gifts, garments, and more. Call 775-727-9444. News is also brought to you by J.K. Nelson Law. Call 727-9900 today for your free consultation. If you need a lawyer, you need Nelson.
Tonight on News 46, Chief Lewis takes on Nye County Emergency Services and up close and personal with VEA's new CEO. News 46 starts now.
You're watching Kpvm News 46 with Deanna O'Donnell. News 46, local coverage you can count on.
Fire Chief Scott Lewis replaces Vance Payne as the new Emergency Services Director. It's Wednesday, June 6th. I'm Deanna O'Donnell. Pahrump Valley Fire and Rescue Chief Scott Lewis is now overseeing the Nye County Emergency Services. Director Vance Payne, who has served for decades, has decided to retire. The decision to appoint Lewis was made yesterday during the Board of County Commissioners meeting.
The BOCC report is sponsored by Jim Marsh Automotive of Las Vegas, Kia, Chrysler, Jeep, and Body Shop.
Discussion, deliberation, or ratify the selection by Nye County Manager of Scott Lewis as Director of Emergency Services.
Mr. Chairman, I'd like to make a motion to approve.
Second.
Or ratify.
I have a motion and a second to ratify. Further discussion? Open public comment? Go ahead.
Batty Browning, B-R-O-W-N-I-N-G. And I just want to lend my support to this. I think that Scott Lewis is the best that we are going to ever be able to bring to our county for an emergency services director. He has all the experience in the world, and he has unique experience here in Nye County, so my support absolutely is for this appointment.
There were a couple of questions brought up here by the audience, and so I have to look at this from a commissioner's point of view also. I don't have any issue with Scott Lewis taking this position, but there was some concern about whether this should have been advertised or not. Can anybody answer that question for me? If we can do this without, is this one of those jobs where we have to advertise, or would that be a question for Tim?
This is Deanna with Nye County HR. The position doesn't have to be advertised. It says we may, but it doesn't say we shall.
I mean, this just looks like a very extensive amount of work here. It looks like it's already going to fill up every day. I just don't see how we can do both jobs. I would rather see this delayed until we get a fire chief.
The issues that you're addressing is exactly what we're trying to correct within both the county. We're trying to put emergency management back into its core missions, and by doing so, it'll give us the opportunity to kind of shed some of the things that do not or should not fall into the responsibilities of an emergency manager. And by doing so, we create a more economical, more, as a word you use, a more impactful type of approach in how we're going to manage our government and how we're going to respond to disasters that may occur here.
And then again, there was an issue too about how do we pay? How do we pay you?
So, no, the intent is not to have Scott draw both salaries, and the intent also is not to have him double dip by any means. If during any time that he's working on emergency manager responsibilities, he would be able to draw from those funds that have been set apart for those responsibilities. And so there'll be a clear delineation on the finance side between his fire chief responsibilities and his emergency management responsibilities.
We call for the vote. All those in favor say aye.
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 Aye. 4-0.
Angela Evans has been appointed interim CEO of Valley Electric Association following Tom Husted's retirement last month. We caught up with Evans recently in our studio.
It's going great. You know, I've had 2 exciting weeks. I've had the opportunity to get out and talk with employees one-on-one and then in larger groups. But I've also had the opportunity to meet with ambassadors and beginning to get out there and meet with our members. So it's been pretty exciting.
So Tom Husted resigned. some people said that it was all of a sudden, but actually he has a relationship with the board and he gives his resignation to them, right?
That is correct. And so any of the discussion around his announcement to retire is a conversation that he had with the board that I'm not privileged to. You know, I do wish Tom very well in his future endeavors. Continued growth is something that keeps all of us here in Pahrump. The community center is an initiative that is being led by a very well-known community leadership group, and so I anticipate that they will keep driving that forward. And certainly, you know, VEA is supporting them in their efforts to make that center a reality. But outside the community, we see lots of growth in residential housing development, and that is a really good sign for us. I believe we have anticipated growth to be in the 2%, and for a lot of our co-ops in other states and even throughout Nevada, that's higher than what they see. And so we're really privileged to be experiencing that growth here. And certainly anything that we undertake, you know, we look at it through that lens as what's it going to do to add to that mix of growth. We're still very focused on communications. You know, it is a new business for us, and we want to make sure that we fully support that so that they have a sound footing. And, you know, they've got other services besides the wireless and fiber. And so we're, you know, trying to get recognition out there for those services and really grow that part of the business as well.
Continuing with the fiber optics here in town and, of course, broadband.
Absolutely.
More from the Board of County Commissioners and your Business First Brief right after this break.